Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome to another Rage Islands video. This one will be a clan boss video. So if you have some of these champions, then this video is for you. Beats Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare, Brutal, any difficulty really with the same rotation. It definitely works. The speeds are, there's a range with the speed that you can go, but we'll go through them in a little bit. You just need Roshcard, Seeker, and Warcaster to make this work. And if you go on Affinity, then you also need a Doom Priest. So this is just the bare bones of this team. We'll go into the details right away. Before we get on to that, if you like any of the music played in this video, then soundstripe.com is for you guys. Definitely check it out. I have my own promo code for there, a 15% discount available for you guys if you use the promo word coldbrew. Just check it out from the link down below in the description and comments of this video, and you will definitely not regret it. So let's get into the whole team and how this team works. So the way that this team works, guys, is that it ensures the unkillable, well, not unkillable, block damage team basically to be available for your own team in all difficulties from either Warcaster or Roshcard, and there's a rotation going between them throughout the fight on AoE 1, AoE 2, and then the stun damage. So if you go to Brutal, you go to Nightmare, you go to Ultra Nightmare, you see that these do not change. Roshcard still does his A3, let's say here, and then Warcaster does his A2, A1, but he's still protected because Roshcard provides a 2-turn block damage, while Warcaster provides only a 1-turn block damage. So here it is, guys. This is the rotation and how it works. You don't need to worry too much about it other than the initial setup, which it's very simple. I even have it on a custom AI build. First things first, guys, going over Roshcard, the tower. The way that I have this guy built is being tanky, but also having an immortal set. So the immortal set is important just to give him a little bit of healing in case something happens because of Dracomorph, healing back through that mastery, the Life Drinker mastery. So sometimes the run would fail with Roshcard going low in health, and then the boss deciding to stun Roshcard on Void Affinity. So what I've done is just a simple fix using Immortal Gear instead of changing the Masteries on Dracomorph, which can be useful in other places other than the clan boss. So what I've done is given him just an Immortal set, giving him that heal every single time he takes a turn. He's built a little bit tanky, he's built with a good amount of speed, but the range of speeds can vary. So you can build your Roshcard with a 239 to 246. You can go all the way to 246 and the run will still work. 105% crit. I wanted to get 100%, but I left it there. 105, it's fine. 129 critical damage. You don't want any accuracy, but anyway, we'll be blocking out the A2. The A3 needs to be maxed out in terms of skill ups, and then masteries. We went War Master, Life Drinker here, and then Retribution and Deterrence. All these masteries will actually help him get way more damage than if you just had, let's say, offense tree, and for some reason you went the support tree to get Lord of Steel for that extra bit of damage. So go the defensive route, get that Retribution. It definitely helps getting those lucky counters and getting that extra War Master in there. 60,000 damage here and there might help you to get that, you know, 1 key, 2 key, 3 key. It all depends, guys. All depends on how you build their masteries right. Next up, it's going to be Dracomorph. So Dracomorph is a little bit heavy there in terms of stats, but we've built him as the highest damage dealer as possible, with the fewest defensive stats as well, as I said before. So 31,000 health, 2,000 defense, and a 218 speed is the minimum that you can go. So the highest that you can go with Dracomorph speed is 228 before this breaks. Always check the speeds with the Deadwood Jedi calculator, clan boss calculator. So 218 to 228 is where you can just go through. 100% crit, 234 critical damage. That's a lot. 229 accuracy. Ideally, I would have run it a little higher if I could, but 229 is okay for Ultra Nightmare clan boss. He's going to be going on a 2-1 rotation, so he's going to be rotating through everything quite often. So 4,000 attack, 218, 100%, and the defensive stats are a little bit low. His skills are of course maxed out. It helps him do more damage, and we went for a War Master and then a Master Hexer here in the support tree. The War Master on the offense tree is the same as everybody else would have gone, but the Master Hexer helps with extending the duration of your debuffs. Next up is Warcaster. So Warcaster has 3 sets of speed. Again, you don't need the 3 sets of speed as long as you can get to those speeds. This is a little bit high in terms of speed requirements, but it's the same as the 2 man-eater, bat-eater kind of setup. So 266 on the speed required. You can even go all the way to a 286. I have here in my notepad. So 266 to 286 if you want to go crazy with the speed, but it's not required. I mean, if you can get the minimum, get the minimum. So 64% crit, 177 critical damage. If you can get this higher, it's going to be better for you in terms of damage dealing. But remember, he has to be a little tanky. He should not get any damage dealt on him, because if he gets a stun, then this will be a bad run on void affinity. So we'll go through that once the run actually starts. So 35,000 health, 2,000 defense. That's a little bit higher than what Dracomorph has in terms of health, but the defense is right there, very, very close. The masteries that he has helps him be a little tankier than Draco. He gets a 5% decreased damage received from AoE attacks. He also has this that decreases the damage dealt on him. If you want to go with Retribution, you can do that as well and also get Deterrence. Helps him do more damage with his A1 when he goes in there for the attack. Warmaster helps with additional damage. And then A1 and A2 don't need to be booked. His A3 though needs to be booked to be a 4-turn cooldown. Then next up we've got Seeker. So Seeker again needs to be at a very specific speed, and if you have good gear on him to give him some damage, then go for it. Overall speed is at a 248. Seeker can be between 247 to 265. So right, a little bit lower speed than Warcaster. It's a bit big range, but if you get him to the bare minimum and then focus on your other stats, then it's good, because Seeker can actually slap on the clan boss, guys. He can do some solid damage. So this is why he's built this way. 90% crit, 122 critical damage, a good amount of defense and health. So about the same health as Draco, but higher defense. And accuracy, he doesn't need it for clan boss. He's of course needs to have a maxed out A2. Don't mind the A1, but it's all RNG. And then the same kind of masteries down in the Warmaster, and then down the defensive tree. You don't need the support tree. Finally, we've got Fane. So Fane will be the final addition to this team. We can see that she has a 247 speed. You can go between 239 to 248, very similar to what Rosh has, a little bit higher than the amount that Rosh can go, but we have her at a 247. Definitely works. 1.6k defense, 32,000 health. So she's very low on defense. She can actually get the stun a couple of times. We don't mind if she gets a stun or Dracomorph gets a stun. As long as nobody else gets the stun, we're okay. So 93% critical rate, 147 critical damage, 260 on accuracy. That's good. We'll apply everything. Ideally, you'll have her maxed out for the best damage and best chance to apply a decreased defense, weaken, and poisons. The reason that, okay, I'm running a Fane and a Dracomorph, so Fane does a decreased defense and weaken, is because we'll still be using Fane on weak affinity. Not weak affinity, on affinity. So on affinity is where we will not be using Dracomorph. I'll go into that in a bit. So Warmaster there, and the support tree for Master Hexer. Very specific. So for affinity, clan boss is where you'll be using Doom Priest. So Doom Priest is built differently in terms of speed, but the same idea is the same, because she has that aura that adds to her own speed. So 207 here, but it doesn't mean that you cannot go 218 to 228 if you want to. The reason is that she will be in the lead. Increase force ally speed in all battles by 15%. So be very careful about the speed aura. The speed aura gives her 15 speed on her 100 base. So she goes another 15 on 207. That's 222 speed available for Doom Priest just because of that aura. And that's how she works for this. The masteries are the same. You don't need to book her to add anything to her. It just adds a little bit to her damage, but that's nothing too crazy. So Warmaster, and then the defensive tree for Doom Priest. And this way, if you put her on the calculator with this, and you have her available, so let's say I do the speeds exactly as I said, put her on a 222, you'll see that Doom Priest actually gets the first turn every single time, and damage goes up exponentially, and that's just fantastic for a champion available like this. Whenever she gets a turn, she'll be cleansing. The Spirit Affinity clan boss will not cause any issues to this team. So that being said, let's get on with the runs, and I'll explain how everything works. Let me show you guys this team and how it works on clan boss. So the way that you build this team with custom AI is very simple for both Affinity and Void. So on Void, you're gonna have Draco in there as the lead, and well, his rotation is very simple. You don't change anything. For Roshcard though, I've blocked his A2. I don't want the block active skills or block buffs to be applied on the boss. The block active skills doesn't work. The block buffs does work though, cannot be resisted. So even if you had him with 0 accuracy, he would still apply this. Possibly block some of the important debuffs such as poisons, defense down, or weaken. So A1, we start with the A1 here. So it's an opener skill right here with the flag. Seeker, the same thing, opener on his A1. Warcaster, opener, his A3. And we block the A2. We don't want the block buffs, debuff. And then for Feign, we just have everything working. So this is the rotation. It works on all affinities, all difficulties, not all affinities. For affinity, you need Doom Priest there, and I explained why before. You have her in the lead, and that's how it works, because in the lead, she'll also gain that extra little bit of speed. Nobody else is forced, so it doesn't change their speeds. So let's go. I'll just let this run on auto, and you'll see how this works on Nightmare difficulty. So on Nightmare, I do expect a 1 key. And right after this, after about turn 3, the team becomes a 2-1 rotation. So see there, we got a little bit of damage there on Dracomorph, a little bit of damage on Feign, and a little bit of damage there on Roshcard. So Rosh will be protected from that healing he gets from the Immortal set. So every time he gets a turn, he heals up a little bit to full. So the way that the boss stuns is depending on the amount of health of the enemies. On Void Affinity, that's how it goes. So everybody else is fine. But the only champions that have an issue are these 3 usually, at least in my test runs. So on Dracomorph, he would just go down with the poisons that damage dealt to him, and also the damage that he received on the very first initial turn. So here we got Roshcard full health, so you won't have him by any chance get the stun for the remaining of the runs. So we should be fine. Let this run for a little bit. If you like the music, as I said, guys, use the link in the description. Use Soundstripe with the coldbrew promo code, and yeah, enjoy that 15% discount. As you can see, guys, we're already in turn 32. We're already 1 key on Nightmare. We have another 20 turns to go. I can guarantee that this run would be about 60 million damage. Really solid, but I won't go over that amount. There's no point. Maybe somebody else in the clan wants to hit a void, so I'm just gonna leave this, and let's see the damage recap available. So Draco did a 19 million. Let me move. Yeah, 19 million damage. Rosh did a 4.6. Seeker 5.9. Solid damage throughout the team. Definitely works on Nightmare. Ultra Nightmare, this team is just great. If you have the champions, you have the gear available to get their speeds, at least the speed ranges that I just mentioned, then definitely check this team out and use it for your own advantage. Those clan boss rewards are definitely worth it. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.